Hello everyone, welcome to Learn English with Dr. DK. I hope to see many of you in my Zoom class today, and our topic is air pollution. So I already have students in my live class, but if you are interested and you already received the email, the text message, you can join the class at this time. So we are going to talk about air pollution, which is a very common problem in everyone's life, and it's not just in India, but it's a worldwide, right? So who is my first English learner who wants to talk about air pollution? Something you already know about it, just the general information. Or yes, who is the first one to talk about air pollution?
Can I learn?
Sure, go ahead.
Can I learn?
Ma'am, may I start?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am. Air pollution is a vital problem in today's life. And so, with the air pollution led to 1 lakh premature deaths in India. And in Asia, it almost up to 7 million. And so pollution is a main reason, our vehicle transportation and so air pollution from our house chemicals, our farmers chemicals, farmers pesticides, overuse of pesticides, and
Mr. Doctor, it's breaking up.
yes.
Driving something, it's not clear.
Hello.
Yes, your voice is not clear. So we
Am
didn't
I
understand
am I
anything.
not, am I not audible?
No, it was not clear at all. So do you want to restart it, please?
Just a second, ma'am. Just a second.
Okay, who is the other person can start right now?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. The air pollution is that the air is called a pollution, the air pollution. You have some things around us or the factors black smoke can affect to the air pollution. Air pollution go to into our lungs and also destroying the lungs, what we call, and also some diseases like lung cancer, heart cancer, or any other diseases. It all happened in that time. We cannot breathe as well. We cannot breathe the smoke, the black smoke in the air. So what we do is we cannot alive. We cannot alive in this time. Because of the air pollution, many people were dying. Also, just like air pollution is a common, but it is too dangerous. The dangerous thing is when you or smell or breathe the black smoke, it's destroying body your lungs and destroying lungs some particular. If your lunch is particular and destroyed, it cannot alive as well. Many people in India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and pollution causes. So, we're talking about, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, the next
Okay,
person.
I want to say that who were talking, Prabhakar Puri was talking.
Okay, that's fine. I'm muted.
Ma'am, my video camera is put off by yourself. Please check it.
Okay, who is the next person to talk about air pollution, please?
Hello. Hello, ma'am. Am I audible not?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. My video camera is put off by yourself. Please check there.
Yes, because you were driving and I just wanted to make it like, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Yes. Now, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, please start. Air
Hello,
pollution.
ma'am.
Yes, about air
Yes,
pollution.
yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Air pollution led to 1 lakh premature deaths in India, and in Asia, it's over 7 million. Discover the causes and effects of air pollution, but also solutions to reduce it. The Solar Impulse Foundation is selecting innovative solutions to fight air pollution. No more talking, help us take action now. Be part of solutions. For a sustainable world, these are these 6 pollutions are carbon monoxide, lead, nitrogen oxide, ground level ozone, particle pollution, and sulfur oxides. And so, main cause of pollution are the burning of fossil fuels, industrial emission, indoor air pollution, wildfires, microbial decaying process, transportation, open burning of garbage, waste, construction and demolition, agriculture activities, overuse of pesticides and fertilizers are mixed with new invasive species which are not found in nature, and the use of chemical and synthetic products in
Are you
house, just
reading
like
from,
hello.
are you reading it from somewhere like from article or something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
No, just whatever you know about air pollution, just talk about without reading any article.
Yes. So you last time you advised about that. So you should made content so you can speak easily. So that is I took advice from
No.
yourself, and so now yes. What about pollution?
It,
So hello. So overuse of chemicals in our house, just like HIT, and so many bathroom products, and again
Mhm.
stab burns by farmers. So that is also the reason of smog. Smog creates many problems, breath problems, and so asthma and heart problems, and so many health problems like that. And
Right. Okay. So that's fine. Thank you. I'm gonna go for the next person. Jyoti. Yes.
yes,
Thank you.
ma'am. Yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Ma'am, air pollution. We all know air is the main is one of the main source of our life.
Right.
And when we know about the air pollution, it means the release of pollutants, the mixing of pollutants in air.
Mhm.
Then what is these pollutants? These
Mhm.
pollutants like pollen grains, dust particles, smoke, etc. These all particles, when mixed with air, these became toxic, and
Right.
it creates and it became the air polluted.
Mhm.
Ma'am, there are many causes of air pollution, like vehicular exhaust. India is a very vast country, and the population of India is very large.
Mhm.
And not even the population of India is large.
there are a large number of vehicles in India also.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody prefer their private vehicle. If in a family there is one person, but they want two or three branded or different brands of car, different brands of motorcycle, etc. And
Mm-hmm.
these things makes and the carbon monoxide carbon monoxide or other gases released from these vehicles makes the air polluted,
Right.
and this causes a lot of disease. And when we come to India, when we talk about India, the capital of India, Delhi, is the one of the most polluted city or town or capital in the world. When we saw the most top 10 most polluted capital or
Yeah.
cities in the world, then Delhi comes the first. And among the top 10, nine of the cities in top 10 in the world is from India. When we
Mm.
know about the top 30, the 21 cities in the world is from India.
Wow. Wow.
This
Mm-hmm. So, do you know the other cities? Maybe what you say, Mumbai?
so this all shows that not very much aware about the they do not take it seriously.
Right.
Um, and for this, the government has started so many public transports, but people do not use that for their own benefits,
Uh-huh.
but
That's
they must use that.
yeah.
Other yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean that's true. People don't listen. They even if you need to go for like maybe 500 meters, you're gonna take your what you call scooter or car or
Yes,
whatever.
ma'am.
You can walk, but people don't want to, right? Yeah, I agree with you. Right.
Ma'am, second cause of the air pollution is fuel based air pollution.
Mm-hmm.
In our India is a poor country. It is not very financially rich. So even in 2022, people use fossil fuels, woods for their cooking.
Mm. Right.
And these cooking materials creates a lot of smoke or pollution like carbon monoxide, and it is the most toxic gas. It is one of the most toxic gas. So mainly in the village area, people mainly women's, because they cook their food for their family, they are they trapped in the respiratory disease.
Right. So, is there anything, any like a government or any
Yes,
like a
ma'am. Yes, I want to tell that.
uh-huh.
Mm, but after coming of the Narendra Modi government, they
Mm-hmm.
started Ujala Yojana.
Okay.
Sorry, ma'am, Ujjwala Yojana.
Mm-hmm.
And from this Yojana, the government gave cylinders, gas cylinder in every home on the name of the women of the home.
Right, but I
But
think very
but due to the high cost of the gases in these days, they are and they are poor people, not very rich people. So
right,
they have their gas cylinders, but instead of that, they use their old methods for
right.
cooking.
So expensive. Gas cylinder, they cannot afford it. So what they gonna do? What they gonna do with the empty cylinders?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
gas is so expensive, right?
It
Mm-hmm.
is so expensive, ma'am. It is so expensive, so they cannot use it. And ma'am, the third cause behind this air pollution is construction work.
Right.
Construction work and the agricultural activities like stubble burning.
Jyoti, I will come back to you again. I want someone else to talk
Okay,
about this.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
I
so
have a lot of points on this topic, so I will talk later.
I will come back to you, no problem. So, Shiva, how are you after so many days?
Yes, ma'am. I'm very great, and I have been now. I'm connected. I'm being connected with this class after a very long time. Yeah.
Right, I didn't see you. That's why I'm saying, where have you been? So what do you
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
talk about? Air pollution.
Yeah, ma'am. The air pollution. It is a debate between environment versus development.
Mhm.
Because if you go to for that to save the if in a air pollution that nowadays it's very hot day and the ACs. Lots of people are using the ACs, and on other hand, that's why it is increasing the temperature of our environment. So it is a thing that we have to see our comfortable. We have to see our comfortableness or our environment. It is there is a one thing, sustainable development. People say that we should always do a sustainable development, but it is just so called terminology. Sustainable development, lots of international program are held every year, but nothing, there is a nothing any result, there is a no any outcome.
So
So,
it's
and even there is a one more thing, that there is a result that after, I think, in till the 2035, the arc all the whole world temperature will increase one more degree temperature.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I would like to conclude just that it is
yeah,
about environment and our comfortableness.
right. So what's the temperature in Delhi right now? You are in Delhi, right? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. It's a 40 degrees Celsius.
Oh, and it's just April.
Yes, ma'am. And
Right?
in some parts of Delhi, there is also a temperature 42 degree. And Rajasthan is a most worst state in India, where it has crossed for, I think, 44.
Wow, it's already 44?
Yes, ma'am. In Ajmer, the Ajmer is the world's third hottest place nowadays in
Wow.
Rajasthan.
Wow. It's too hot. And what people gonna do? I mean, they have to use the air conditioning because if they can afford it, otherwise, yes, there are people they don't even have fans, right? Um,
Yes, ma'am. But in Rajasthan, the people are, I think, lots of people not are able to buy ACs. And even now, the price of the AC has also soared up so much. There is a rising of price ACs.
right. What about the
Uh,
electricity? Like, do they? You guys get the like what you say when they do the what you call cut cut लगते हैं? I forgot that terms. Like, is there any power cut? Your timing?
um, yeah, I'm like, now there is a in April in a there might be a power cut, but now it is not being happen. It is not happening now. But after some day, it must happen, because we all know that there is a most the all it there is a high demand of the power. So they will have to cut the power for some time, even because lots of electric wire can also burn because of the temperature.
Right, right.
They will have to cut the power. And even
Mhm.
in our Delhi, there is a, by the way, electricity is free for 200 units. So those people are just using coolers and fan. For them, it is very great, but those are using AC. For them, they have to pay the bills.
Oh, okay. So because the people those they are using air conditioning, they have enough money to pay the bills, right? That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yes, ma'am. And but there is also one more thing. In a Punjab, there is a 300 units free electricity. And even if you use the AC for 1 2 hour, I think just 4 hours, I think within a 300 units, you can also use a AC in Punjab, because there are 300 units free electricity.
Yeah, I don't know when it's gonna be applicable. Is it already applicable? Aap government, they already started it?
I think I don't have not knowledge about it, but I have seen that in a manifesto of our government.
Yeah, I know. They are yeah, I watch the news pretty much every day, something about India or Punjab. Okay, next is Suman and Vana. Who wants to go first? Vana, what do you want to talk about? Air pollution. And do you have pollution in your city? If you have, how much? Is this like on a very high side, or it's like okay? Because if you are living like in a rural areas, of course you have pollution, but not like that bad, right? And even you can look at the map on I don't know where I saw once a map, and air pollution in the south is way too less than the northern India. Did you notice that? Anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So it's very different. Yeah. Okay, so Vana, you want to say anything?
Yes, ma'am. As you said, like
Ma'am,
in
I
South
want to say
India,
one more thing.
Can Vana, please? Vana didn't get a chance to speak once.
Ma'am,
Yes.
on what you are talking about that.
Uh-huh.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, the northern India is more polluted than the southern India because the landlocked estates in northern India is more than southern India. Southern India is have only one landlocked estates, but in northern India we have a lot of landlocked estates.
Land what?
Ma'am, landlocked, that means any estate which do not have a pass, which do not have ocean in their in their
Oh, okay. Ocean. Okay, got it. Yeah, right.
yes,
Ocean.
ma'am,
Yeah, right.
and
Yeah.
surrounded by estates, other
Yes.
estates.
Yes. Because south is.
Like Delhi is one of the example of landlocked estates. So
Mhm.
Delhi is more polluted than other estates.
Right.
One of the reason.
Right, absolutely. Because I was checking the air pollution, and I am gonna share one map with you, and then I will go to Vana, and then we're gonna talk about. Let me share the screen, and if you can see this one, this is what you say. Oh my God, there are so much. Yeah, so you see, this one is India, right? And you can see the pollution here. And if you look at all these reds, right, you see this is the live kind of a map about India. It's for the worldwide, right? So yeah, this is the map you can see. And this, for example, this one, 20%. It's a mostly south is more yellow and orange and green also even. But if you go more to the north side, it's, oh my goodness, look at this, 217, very unhealthy. So these places are mostly in northern India, right? So you can see this is the, and even here also, what part is this? Myanmar, Burma, and this one is, I think, what you say, China, maybe? Which part is this side? Yeah, so, I mean, look at that. It's so, yeah, here, mostly Lahore, US Embassy, Jalandhar. This one is Nagla Bhav, Firozabad, India. This one,
Ma'am,
yeah, Agra. Yeah, so a lot of pollution.
Ma'am, the air quality in the air quality index, it is divided into 6 parts, and
Mhm.
in these parts, 0 to 50 is
Right,
good for health. But
right,
we unfortunately we never found the air quality index in 0 to 50 in India.
right. I mean, in India's map, I can see 11 only in Amravati, India. 11, and that
Only
is,
few cities.
and then this one is 20. This one is um, Jawahar Nagar, uh, Puducherry, India. So it's mostly south, right? This one is Mangalore, Kadri in India. So this side, there are some greens we can see here, right? Vishakhapatnam. Then this one is Talcher. Yeah. So yeah, you are right, because the cities, those are close to the ocean, right? And are not like densely populated. I think these areas are not densely populated. That's the
Yes,
reason
ma'am.
the air pollution is still, yeah. But here, this one is also bad. Bangalore, okay, I can understand. It's a big city, right? Yeah, Bangalore is unhealthy for sensitive. But if you look at the top one is, oh my, look at this, 586. Ghaziabad, India, right? So you can see this map. When I saw many like about like 2 months ago, I was so shocked. I was like, wow! It clearly shows you like where it's healthy, and even this one is healthy here, Buxar, India. No, sorry, this one. It's somewhere. So I mean, maybe in rural areas or mountains, little better, right? But otherwise in plains it's really bad. Yeah.
Ma'am, there are so many factors behind it, like population density,
Right.
industrial density,
Right.
water presence. Um,
Right. Okay, Suman, do you want to say anything about air pollution? If you have air pollution, you will not believe it. Like when I go to India, most of the time I wear glasses because my eyes are very sensitive, and I was not used to wear. But once I had something in my eyes, and it was like I had a problem for so many days, and after that I was like, no, it's so hard to be out without glasses. And I mean, Chandigarh, when we used to be there, and that was kind of like one of the best city. And now, even last time I noticed, I was there like 3 years ago, and we were there in March. And March is a pretty pleasant month. And in the beginning of March, like very first dates, like first week of March, and I noticed there was so much, like even the green trees had so much dust on the trees. And I was like, oh my God, Chandigarh, one of the beautiful city in India, and the
India.
Panchkula, all those areas were so beautiful, but now even the trees have so much dust on the trees. It's, yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah. There is some kind of a smell. The moment, please don't feel bad. I am also born and raised in India, but the moment we land off, in Delhi, we come out of the airport. You feel like you are on another planet. Believe me, the smell is so different and so strong. I mean, here, I mean, it's not like
Black smoke.
have pollution, but as you Jyoti said, like India is on the top of the list right now. Yeah, and the population, of course, is the main reason. And then when there is a population, people gonna use all these things, right? Because we are living, we need, people need the things, people need cars, people need to cook food. Even if you don't use car, you still need the necessities, right? And all that stuff, when there is so much population, and it's creating so many other and that's the reason there are so many health issues, especially the respiratory problems, and right. Yeah. So any and Suman, do you want to say anything? Suman?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Vana and Suman, you just want to be good listener today?
I have a question.
Yes, if I have an answer, I will definitely answer your question. If I not, then I will find out the answer. Yes.
How can I improve my English? Are there different accents like British and American or any accents?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Keep your accent natural, please. Just learn the correct way to say the words. Use the correct pronunciation.
But
Otherwise,
there are different accents.
what?
But there are different accents. I know American accent and British accent, but I need to study more. So, how can I improve my accent and English?
I don't know you if you understand what I'm trying to tell you. That's what, as an language expert, I am telling you, keep your accent natural. Do not make faces. जैसे वो मुंह बना बना के बत बोलो, वो बहुत artificial लगता है. वो artificial लगता है. Be natural. Okay, just learn how to pronounce the words correctly, and that you can learn if you know how to if you know the syllables को understand करना बड़ा important है language में. So that's the way you know in on which which cluster of words I will say. Like जैसे एक word है for example, जैसे कहूँ कि competition, right? Competition. So if you know
Five
first
syllables.
word, calm, pay,
Chicken.
so four, competition, competition, right? So you know there are four syllables in it. So if you know this kind of knowledge and you are pronouncing the words correctly, then that I will say that language sounds natural. But if you try to copy other people's accent, that sounds very artificial. And believe me, it when someone is listening you, especially the native speaker, it sounds very odd. Believe me, I know in India people have that kind of like I don't know, may I use that word, phobia, to copy the British accent or American accent. I don't think so, because if you ask me personally, I think that's a complete waste of time. Instead of learning the accents, if you concentrate more on developing your language, enhancing your vocabulary, and becoming more knowledgeable by reading, right? And applying that knowledge in your everyday activities or in discussions, right here, for example, or even when you write something, right? So enhance your language, not to spend so much time just to learn the accents. Learn to pronounce the words correctly. That's my advice. So, for example, if you remember, I don't know which accent you are trying to copy. I don't know, but you are saying, "Wow, I forgot now." And I corrected you that time. I was just, I mean, don't make those kind of like faces. Learn, listen the word, and if you don't know if the word is like a very long word or something, and you don't know how to pronounce it, and in these days, you know, it's a technology word. You can type the word, and there is a one website, how J say. That is also, you can type the word and you can listen, or even Oxford Dictionary.
Can you repeat the website again?
How J say, HOW.
Spelling?
I mean, there are so many. That's just the one of hundreds of websites. Okay, like even if you go to the Webster's Dictionary online or the Oxford Dictionary online, there are so many, and everyone has the pronunciation. You click on the pronunciation, listen it, and try to say the word after that. And I was doing that too. Believe me, I never try to copy any American or anyone. I just learn how to say the word through just by listening it. Okay, so you don't need to make you know apni, I know, you know, there are maybe thousands of YouTube channel. They are just teaching you the accents, American accents or British accents. I mean, it's your choice, your time, but my personal advice is don't do that. Keep your accent natural, but speak good pronunciation. Use good pronunciation. That's it. That will be excellent. My accent
Okay.
is not American accent. Frankly speaking, my accent is my accent. But the words I pronounce, I just focus more on the pronunciation, and that's the reason even many like my students here, the native speakers, they born here, they don't even recognize my, because the way they speak, I pretty much speak the same way. Why? Because I just focus on the pronunciation. I don't make the faces. But my daughter's English and my English, yes, it's different because she's a native speaker. She born here. She grew up here, right? So if I'm going to start copying her, it will be जैसे 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 एक एग्जांपल दूं कि कोई गांव से एक बेचारा देहाती आदमी आया और उसको आके आप सूट पहना दो तो वो कितना उसको वॉक भी नहीं करना आएगा उसमें, राइट? आई एम गिव, यू नो व्हाट आई मीन, क्योंकि जिसका साज क्या कहते हैं, जिसका राग उसी को साजे एक कहावत है हिंदी में
Yes, ma'am.
है ना, होती है ना, कि वो नेचुरल लगती है। सो बी नेचुरल, दैट्स माय एडवाइस। अदरवाइज इट्स योर टाइम, whatever you want to do, but if you uh, because I have seen many students sometimes they come here and the way they read, it sounds like odd that they are not using their actual pronunciation. Pronunciation, the mean accent. I'm talking about accent. So read correctly, good pronunciation, but don't try to copy anyone's accent. Keep your own accent. That's the way it is. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyone wants to talk about pollution? I have one reading. If you want to read quickly, we can do that. But most of you know, right? If there is something we need to, and we know the reason why the pollution is, we know the reasons, right? Even if we
Ma'am,
don't up on any article, we know that there are cars and factories and all that kind of electricity, all, you know, everything is creating pollution. But the thing is, how we can control it? Is there something just gonna as like Jyoti was saying? I don't know who someone else was saying. Yeah, Shivam was saying also that is, there are so many plans, but everything is just in papers, right? It's more in papers, but not. But the see, here is the thing: people just say, "Oh, people are not doing this." The problem is the change cannot come if we all think about it. Now, recycling, for example, I don't know how it. Like in India, you can sell the newspapers and bottles and stuff like that, right? But here,
I want to share my views.
especially where we are, we don't have that trend. Whatever we have, we just we have set days when recycling the truck will come and what you say, garbage truck will come and big dustbins outside and take it. But there are people, oh, mute please. And there are people here also, they don't care about that. They just put the like a soda cans or water bottles or papers or box, like paper boxes, everything in the trash, only because they don't care about it, right? But instead of putting all that stuff in the trash, if they can put it in the separate bin, because here wherever we live, our community, we pay every month. I think in India also, in some societies you pay, that's called like अपनी community के, we pay the charges and then they have so many things they do for the community, right? So the garbage is also that one of the part of their services, right? So they gave us like the big cans for recycling and for but some people don't bother to put it. But that's what it is. If people can think about it, that each one of us, if we will be doing something towards it, it will be contributing, right? वो जैसे कहते हैं कि every drop makes the ocean, right? So अगर same thing is in every like every field, हर चीज जो है वो if you know it's more in science, who is a science student here? So neutron or proton or so everything starts from the teeny tiny particles, right? So same thing is in life also. हर चीज जो है वो अगर मैथ की बात करो तो जीरो से काउंट शुरू होता है, राइट? सो सेम थिंग इज इन एवरी फील्ड. पोल्यूशन है या I mean, in any field, I can say everything starts from the scratch, from the beginning. Beginning तो हर चीज की है ना. तो
I have one question that like the America is also industrialized country. and India is going through from that process. But I have heard that the America air is very clean. So how is it possible that the which country who is a in the industrialized country, or on the other hand, the one country who is going from this process of industrialization, and we have a poor quality of air, but America has a very great quality of air. So how is it possible?
So, Shivam, there are so many reasons. First of all, in America, there is so much greenery. ग्रीनरी बहुत ज़्यादा है अमेरिका में. अब people are so conscious. अब you will not believe it, even in my home, I have about 20 trees, big trees, right? And if you look on the back side, we have full woods. बहुत यहाँ पे people are very conscious कि ट्री लगाने हैं, ग्रीनरी बहुत ज़्यादा ग्रीनरी है, ग्रीनरी बहुत ज़्यादा है यहाँ पे. और दूसरा, हाँ, yes.
Ma'am, the main reason behind this question is India got their freedom in 1776, and sorry, America got their freedom in 1776, and India got their freedom in 1947.
Okay.
India got industrialized 200 or 300 years ago, but India is now in this process. There was a time when America is more polluted nation, but by the passing of the time, it becomes stabilized. So nowadays we are talking about climate justice because we are going through this process. It is natural that we starts a lot of startups, industries, etc. But in America, these things are happened years ago, many years ago, and now they all are very much financially stabilized. So in America, every day there is no need to start a lot of industries every day, but it is the necessity in India nowadays. So we
Right.
are talking about climate justice.
Right. Yeah, but even what you are saying about America also, but like that's what I'm saying. Dense भी तो it's very dense. India is very dense, densely populated है, right? So if I talk about America, like in America, yeah, we have like a New York, for example, is a big city, right? And once, and moreover, industry wise, if I see, there is not a lot of like industries here. In if I look around, we don't have industries. Maybe somewhere, some part in big cities, in some areas, but pollution is more with, I think, with cars and with the housing as like air conditioning or inside the house. But what I notice is it's more, because I can compare India, why it's more in India or here, because in a population wise, though, it's a huge difference, and land wise also, right? So I don't know that exactly the measurement.
In America, there are so many trees. So your country is very polluted. I didn't say it's your homeland country. I say where you live in. The country is full of trees. But in our country or India, Pakistan, they are cutting wood. So then it will be polluted. Also, by the way, America is a red city. So it can be like more rich than our country, so they can pollute the air too, or any pollution. That's my advice.
Right. One second. I have a Jagjit Singh Chauhan and I have MD Amir Hamza. Jagjit, you have to send me a WhatsApp or your phone number, and I will send you the invitation next week. Okay. Let's see. Because there are students, they want to join the class and they are asking me how they can join the class. So I was just telling them how to join the class. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I understand. Yeah, like if I look at that way, yeah, we do have pollution, but not the pollution like the way we have in India. Yes, absolutely. It's there, but not that bad, right? So
Ma'am, there is also one more question, that debate between environment versus livelihood, because like in a Delhi, the lots of factories have been now moved away from Delhi because of the pollution. Now any industry which was producing a pollution in Delhi, now all of them have been removed from Delhi. That's why because of that, lots of people have lost their livelihoods from those industry, because those have been removed from the our country, sorry, from our capital Delhi. So there's also one more thing, that which thing you have to see. You have to see the environment, you have to see the people livelihoods, because if you go for save the environment, on other hand you will lose to a livelihood of the people. You will lose to the opportunity of earning money.
right, yeah, absolutely. So where did they move all those factories? You mean away which side?
Yeah, all of them factory have been moved to Uttar Pradesh, in Uttar
Oh,
Pradesh area.
so the people are moving there.
Yeah, those people are able to go there, they are going, and those people are not able, they have shifted their business, but it is not very easy to shift their business to another business.
Another
And that's
place.
why the people are also saying that if uh, if we will not if we will if the we are going for the environment, there is a one thing that, like if we I'm not getting a right thing for that right word, like uh, if we will not get the money, how will we live? We will have to survive so much. That's kind of thing that people are surviving from lots of, even after the lockdown, the people have lost their jobs. And now even when the industries are not being allowed in our capitals, so it has become very difficult. So I would like to conclude that it is about environment, what we have to focus on, environment or livelihood. We will have to focus on both of them.
Right. Yeah, that's
Ma'am,
true. Yes.
ma'am, what Shivam said is absolutely true, but it is also a government initiative to increase the urban area. Hmm.
Hmm,
Because India is, even though a rural country, a
right.
rural nation, and it is not totally urbanized. In the recent time, only 35% of the Indians lives in the urban areas, and by the passing of the time, the population in urban areas increases. So it
Right.
is also the government initiative to increase the urban areas. And it is the mentality of the people from whole India, mainly from the northern India states like Bihar.
Hmm.
People migrate to Delhi, especially
Right.
Delhi for their jobs.
Yes.
So when the urban areas spread in large area,
Mm,
people go there also for searching their jobs. and
right.
and when we know the census of 2011 in Delhi, every in 1 kilometer approximately 11,500 people lives, which is a very vast population density in Delhi.
Uh-huh.
To control the population in Delhi, it
Uh-huh.
is government initiative to spread these industrial areas, because migrated people mainly lives around the industrial area
Mm,
mainly.
right.
That's
Right.
my point, ma'am.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what people gonna do? Because many people in rural areas they don't have much to do, and because uh, I mean, if I talk about the farmers, many of them are even committing suicides because they don't have even the money to survive. And the people, those they don't even have a land, how they gonna live in the rural areas? So it's naturally, like, it's very natural that they are coming to the cities and just to for their, everyone has to survive. They need money, right? Yeah. So, I mean, this is a very serious problem and it's getting more worse day by day. It's not like getting better. I know there, and moreover, if you look around, especially even in India also, um, I mean, people are buying all these like cars pretty much every. Even there is no parking place, but people do.
Because of climate change, the mountain is melting and go to the sea also can affect the whole city covered with water. So I don't know where the world going.
Right. Yes, it
Ma'am,
is. Uh-huh.
ma'am, in Switzerland, there is a fixed day. On that day, no, even the prime minister or president of that country not use any vehicle.
Hmm. Wow. Right.
And such type of rules is necessary for India also. And in Japan, ma'am, in Japan, the people travel only 3 or 4 kilometers for their job. But in India, and so they can use easily cycles for their jobs in a day, in a week. But in India, people travel 60 or 65 or more kilometers for every day for their jobs. This is also a problem.
Right,
Yes,
Jyoti,
ma'am.
you reminded me one more thing. That's what I was just thinking like last week. I don't know why I was thinking about that. That in India, I still remember, for example, if I am from Patiala, just make it that from
Yes,
Patiala,
ma'am.
Punjab, and then I am working in electricity board, for example, and electricity board is for the whole Punjab, right? I'm just giving you one example, and they're gonna transfer me to maybe to Amritsar, or maybe to not I will say maybe they're gonna transfer me to maybe from 50 or 80 kilometers away from my city where I can commute, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The person who lives there might be working in Patiala, like the other side. So that person is taking the bus from Patiala to that side to do the same job, and the other person is commuting from that place to the other side. Why don't they just have that system where people, if they are working in the state governments, then why don't they have that system that people can work in the same city? Right, if especially it's the what you say, if that job is in the state level, right? That's my,
Ye-
that really
Ma'am,
bothers.
these are the problems in India because we have only 75 years of independence. By the time passes, and when we come to our government can do more better things, but we cannot blame them also because after the colonial era, the
Jyoti,
condition of India is very bad.
no, okay, what example I gave you, that has
Yes, ma'am.
nothing to do with the getting independence for 70 years or 7 years. That example has nothing to do with when
Ma'am,
they
it
got.
may be happen in future, but this nowadays this is the problem. Yes, ma'am. I agree. This is the
It's a
problem
very
in India.
in India, even the district level also, even the teaching position, for example, if they are working under Punjab government, I'm just giving you example from Punjab, but it is in every state. It's same thing is pretty much in every state, that people go from one place to another place, and person from that place might be coming to So my point is, if they can assign the jobs in the same city instead of people commuting, that can also.
Then people do not take, ma'am, in India, people do not take their responsibility. When for example, I am talking about school in my village.
Uh-huh,
There are so many teachers from my village in the
uh-huh.
government school, but they do not take their responsibilities seriously. If the school starts at 8 a.m., the teacher present in the school at 10 a.m. They are doing their own jobs or other works. They do not take their job seriously. This is also the problem in India, ma'am.
अंडरस्टैंड, क्योंकि वो कहते हैं ना कि नो, जब ऊपर तक ही करप्शन है तो फिर वो कौन किसको क्या कहेगा. दैट्स द अदर रीजन.
Yes, ma'am.
If the top is not sincere, then how they can, because systems are, many systems needs to improve, but I don't know when it's going to happen. But again, if again, jo last week our topic was, again same thing I will say, if people start choosing their leaders more like, you know, wisely, in other words, instead of choosing the leaders based on their religion or caste or, you know, any favorism, usse bahar nikal ke, if people can start choosing the good people, bring the good people in the government and try to not vote for them, those they are not doing the job. Look, you know, you have a right to change them after every 4 or 5 years, whatever the system is. But who is choosing them? People are the power, but people are not using their power wisely. So that's another problem. So let's see. I mean, I'm not in favor of any party. I am, and moreover, I don't even have a vote in India. So, but I am saying that people need to think about themselves instead of thinking about casteism, religion, and all other favoritism. They need to think about themselves first, about their families, because that matters a lot. That's the very first thing. And you know, that's वो अब देखो, तो अगर रियलिटी की बात करूं तो आई एम नॉट हर्टिंग एनीवन्स रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट्स, बट आई एम सेइंग, अब कोविड जैसे आया था तो कितना कुछ ये कर लो तो ये कोविड हट जाएगा, ये कर लो. अरे थिंक अबाउट साइंटिफिकली, राइट? किसी, ठीक है, हर एक की अपनी एक, जैसे हिंदी में कहो तो आस्था है, किसी की कहीं पे है, किसी की कहीं, बट थिंक अबाउट प्रैक्टिकली इन लाइफ, राइट? सो बिकॉज सबसे पहले इंसानियत है और सबसे पहले लाइफ है, राइट? उसके बाद बाकी सारी चीज़ें तो लाइफ के साथ ही है ना. तो दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम. पीपल, दैट्स व्हाट वी नीड टू थिंक अबाउट. द सिस्टम्स तभी ठीक होंगे अगर पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम इज वर्केबल, राइट? सो जो भी इंसान अच्छे हों, जिस भी पार्टी के हों, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि दिस पार्टी और दैट पार्टी. Choose good people who work for the society, who work for the community, right? And especially local. Now what people do sometimes, they like कोई player खड़े हो गए, कोई आर्ट, वो फिल्म इंडस्ट्री के एक्टर्स खड़े हो गए, तो people just vote for them without even thinking, and they don't even show up. They don't even show up on those cities forever. I mean, I have seen that in many cases in Punjab also, and the people from Bollywood, where they are from Punjab and they just come and they win the election and then they go back to Bombay. They never gonna come back and do anything, and people just voted for them. Oh, hamara ye actor or hamara wo actor. So people need to think about that, you know, because हम अपने लिए तो we are creating the problems for ourselves by, it's our fault. It's not their
Ma'am, for whom you vote, Democratic or Republican?
I vote for good people. I am not Republican. I am not Democrat. I just.
But in this time, ma'am, in the present election, in 2021.
Biden, of course, Obama. I did that. Yeah, but even last time, John McCain was also a very good human being. But when you compare to the policies, yes. Yeah. So, I mean, choose good people. Even here, for example, in local voting, maybe we see which person's gonna do the better job. Go for that person, not just the party based. That's what I'm saying.
Ma'am, I have one question that, ma'am, most of the time, ma'am, how do you travel in your country? Because I have heard that in a developed country, the cycle is a vehicle of rich people. On the other hand, the cycle is on the other hand, in underdeveloping countries and developing countries, the cycle is a vehicle of poor people. So like if we have to travel a 10 kilometer, then in our country the people mostly use a cycle. But on other hand, like in American, European countries, if the people have to travel just 10 kilometers, they will use a cycle. So is it true? I want to just clarify that. Is it really true in your country that the people most of the time travel by cycle? They have started to focus on their fitness. Like if they like, if there is a professor, his college is just 10 kilometer from his home, he will choose to cycle, not to a bike. So ma'am, how do you travel in your country? Do you most of the time choose your bicycle, or do you choose a public transport, or do you choose your individual vehicle?
So, Shivam, it depends on where you live. Okay. So, if you are asking me personally, I don't live in metro city. I live in northern, like my city is a town. Town hai, right? So, in my town, we don't have a lot of public transportation. We don't. Okay. So, and it's like it's not a populated. It's populated, but it's not very populated, not densely populated, right? So we for bike. If you are asking me bike, people use bike here for just biking for exercises. Okay, so like for example, my son has a bike, and if he wants to go for a biking, right, trails bani hai yahan pe biking ki, people go for exercise. If you asking me about the big cities like New York, for example, right, or LA, Los Angeles, right, or San Francisco, like those kind of, just giving you examples, or Boston, or stuff, those kind of like big cities. People do use a lot of, they do a lot of biking, like maybe they go from one place to, I have seen people doing, but not a lot, but they have a lot of public transportation. Metro, we have a metro, but our metro is like, uh, I am actually living in a capital of America, right? So, like, for example, Delhi, Haryana, right? So, our is like that. We are kind of like in a, not Haryana, Delhi and Gurgaon, right? So, we are kind of like a Gurgaon type. If I look at that way, so because capital, White House is kind of like a 35 or 40 miles away from my house, right? So that's the area we are living in. So, but if you in DC, people, I have seen people on bikes. There are rickshaws also, but not very common. And the local public transportation is there. Subway is there. सबवे बहुत है, जो ट्रेन्स जैसे आपके दिल्ली में है, सेम थिंग इज हियर. सो सबवे फ्रॉम हियर, फ्रॉम माय हाउस, आई हैव लाइक अबाउट 14 miles. यहाँ से सबवे मेरे घर से है. But it's coming, but in maybe next 20 years in my city, where I'm in my town, sorry, not city. So,
Ma'am, in which city do you live?
huh?
In which city do you live? In
I'm not
America?
specific city. No, I no. So, but otherwise, I mean, I am in Northern Virginia. You can call it in Northern Virginia area. So here we have mostly cars. People have their own cars, and people, because we don't have a local transportation. But in big cities, yes, they have a lot of big local transportation. So people use a local, like New York, many people, they don't have cars. There are people, they don't have cars because they don't need cars, because they just walk, and the subway is there. They take the train, they come back. So there are people, and if there are people like a big family, they might just have a one car, just if they want to go somewhere out of town, then they need it. But here in my family, we all of us have our own cars, because we cannot commute. We cannot even go anywhere without cars, right? So we need, car is a necessity. So I have my own car. My husband have his own. My daughter has her own. My son has his own. So we need it. We cannot go anywhere without cars, because no public transportation. So it depends, Shivam, where you live. It's not, you cannot say about all America. Every city, every town is different. Yeah, but if you ask me in European countries, in England or Germany, their cities are also dense जैसे बहुत ज़्यादा dense है. And in America many cities are not dense नहीं है. अमेरिका में population बड़ी कम है उस तरीके से देखो तो, क्योंकि land बहुत ज़्यादा land है. So like for example, that's what I was going to tell you. Okay, if land wise you can combine maybe 3 or 4 Indias, roughly, I'm saying, not exactly, you can combine 3 or 4 Indias, that's one America. ये बहुत बड़ा है, बहुत
And
ज़्यादा.
ma'am, there is also one more question that I have also read that in like developed country like America, the people are very aware about the health. So the marathon is also organized there. The cycle competition is also organized there. So ma'am, have you ever participated in such type of competition like marathon competition, like cycle competition? Have you ever visited, or your children have ever visited such type of competition?
They go to DC when they were young. When they were, they go to DC. DC has, like, DC means Washington DC, right? People go there, like people live here and they work even DC area. Every day people go there. It's not that far. That's what I'm saying. 35, 40 miles. It's not a huge difference. Even where I work, it's 31 miles away from my home. I go to where my institution is 31 miles away from my home. So driving is not hard here. It just takes me like 35 minutes, right? Because there is no traffic lights on this. It's like highways. You just go, and the cars are like very advanced cars. And then and I have not seen any, like, we do the emission check every year. We have to have emission checks in our cars, and we get the stickers, and we have to have like every year we do the emission. If it's gonna expire like one day, I'm gonna get a ticket from cop, because they just are very, so rules बड़े सख्त हैं यहाँ पे. ये बहुत है, rules बड़े strict rules हैं और people follow.
Hello.
Hello, I was asking that like have you ever visited a marathon?
Hello,
in
ma'am.
America?
Yes. Hello.
I want.
Okay. So okay guys, I think we can
Hello.
hello. So
Ma'am.
we can conclude the session, because that was the topic we were talking about. So I will see some of the students next week, hopefully, if my health will allow me to do the live sessions. I will definitely.
I want to share one line, ma'am.